Today is July 30th, 2024, and I'm going to show you my first live algo trading. And after I've shown you the algo trading, I will show you the data analysis that led me to go live. Okay, so this is a recording from this morning. You can see the market is about to open. There's the time up here. You can also see that I have multiple swing trades that are open. So you're going to see a mix of swing trades and algo trades. I will try and point out what is worth watching. So just starting the video, in the background, you may hear a trading room that I'm part of, and that's where these swing trades came from. And you'll also hear me in meetings. So the algo trading was 100% hands off. I did manage to take a look at the results of each trade afterwards, so you'll see me do that, but I didn't interfere in any way with any of the algo trading. Okay, so here's the option config flashing red, and that was because I had a price filter on my trade plan. So what you see me doing in this form is that I'm modifying the filter. So right down here, see, I'm looking for a price between 1 and 2. I just changed that to between 1 and 3 because I realized that it was just too tight. The in the money calls and puts were too expensive to limit it to $2. Okay, so that's what just happened. So I updated those trade plans, and now we are zipping over to the first entry. So I honestly didn't even know that it was about to enter, but I heard the beep, which maybe you'll hear. So, the way these trade plans, they're stupidly simple trade plans. They enter on an outside candle on the 1 minute chart. So if you're familiar with the strat, you'll know that ones are inside candles, twos break one side of the prior candle, and threes are outside candles. So here's a 2 that I think is about to go 3. And that will enter, see the candle pattern? It's looking for 3, both of these in the Qs. And here are the option prices. You can see why $2 was too cheap, and raising it to 3 allowed it to trade within my filter. So yeah, this happens in this minute. So this is going to go 3 before it becomes 9:43. And when it happens, you'll see both of these trade plans trigger. Okay, so see, it went 3. This is the order stuff happening. Here are the orders. And the instant that it gets filled, you can see the fill price. This one got 270, this one got 271, and these are all live trades. It also puts out the targets. Now, this is trade plan that a trade plan I call follow LGV1. LG is my initials, Lee Gray, and this is follow LGV2. So, but I did enough testing and realized they're both working nicely. So if I had to choose one, I would have chosen V2, but V1 was worth trying also. So the trade plan puts out these targets in both cases. You notice this one has 3 calls, and no, I'm sorry, puts. This one has 3, and this one has 4. And you can see the strikes and the expirations are here. And there's a stop here. And so this is the option price in the small chart, and this is the price of the Qs. So we have a stop based on, this is a candle trail, and I'm using the same candle trail in both. So it's a 1 minute candle trail. Every time a 1 minute candle closes, you will see this move down to the high of the candle that just closed. This, I can't even remember. I think these are loss limits, but you'll see multiple stops and multiple targets. This is a trigger that for preserve profit, which is once it takes this target out, then this will activate and will trail a stop to preserve the profit, meaning don't let this winning trade become a losing trade. And all of this is configurable. I made up these two trade plans. You could use mine or you could make others. All right, so anyway, we'll let this play out now. Okay, so the question is, we got a 3. Is it going to continue down or is it going to reverse? Okay, so we just hit a target. You see that we have some realized P&L, profit and loss. And so this is down to 3 and this is down to 1. So this one hit 2 targets. This took $10 and then $20. This one did not. So this one only took $10. And because this one traded with 4, it has 3 left. This one only has 1 left. I don't know if you can hear the background noise, but my family is making noise. So sorry about that. All right. And actually, I know I noted this before I started recording. This one's going to go until 9:47. So we have 3 more minutes. Okay, we just hit a second target. And all right, now we hit a third target. So now we have a runner in both cases. So we're down to 1 contract in each. This one's locked in $60. This one's locked in $30. The remaining contract is up 35 over here and 45 over here. And now the stops are protecting the profit. This stop, you'll notice, ratchets up. I think. I'm trying to remember exactly what is part of each trade plan, but one of them is going to be moving smoothly, and I think the other one's going to be jumping because they have different trade plans that use different tactics. Anyway, we're getting a nice follow through down. Maybe I guess I could speed this up a little bit. Let's see. I don't want to jump. I just want to. I don't know if 1.5 is going to be too fast, but we'll see. So again, I'm not doing anything here. I'm just letting this trade on its own. Now, I have the ability to interfere at any time. I have these buttons that I can use to, add or remove from the position. I could go over to the tactics tab and I could pause or delete or add tactics. I could modify them. So for example, if I wanted to go from a 1 minute candle trail to a 2 minute candle trail, I could do that. I could right click in here and place a new stop or in here. So many things I have available if I wanted to. Now, I noticed something here. I'm going to pause. This is the bid and the ask, and then if you can see that right there, that's the last. So depending on the kind of option you're trading, sometimes you will see that the bid and ask move away from the last. Like it just doesn't trade frequently enough for the last to keep up. You don't see this very often with SPY, but you will with the Qs, and you definitely will with other stocks. So I realized after this trade took place that I had forgotten something. So I just wanted to point it out while you can see it. See, the bid and ask have broken the stop, but the last hasn't yet. So it's still in this trade, even though I really would have wanted out by now. So Okay, so last actually then jumped down and that stopped it out. And now you see that we flattened on both. Here's the P&L. So 112 on one, 74 on the other. They're both flat, but they are now once again looking for the next candle pattern. So we're back to looking for an outside candle to enter. And see, this says long, but this says both. And this says both. All right. The both means this trade plan will go long or short. So an outside candle going up, it'll go long. Outside candle going down, it'll go short, which basically means it'll buy a call or it'll buy a put. Now, here's where I realized I don't have the trade plan that I want. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check that front run and save that so that next time I start create a trade plan, it'll have that front run. And front run means that it will be using the bid and ask. It'll actually use the mid between the bid and the ask rather than last. So what I've done now is I've actually created two new triple Q trade plans, and I just got rid of the old ones. So these now have the front run on that wasn't on for the old ones. And let's see. Oh, the next entry is not until 9:58. Okay, so we're going to zip ahead. Okay. All right, so we're looking for an outside candle, and this is about to happen. And by the way, the JOLTS report was coming out at 10 a.m. I was not paying attention at this point. I was about to, I think I was in a meeting. I can't remember if I was, but anyway, this ended up trading through the JOLTS report. Okay, so it went outside and now we're long, so we're in calls. And again, the targets are out there, the stops are out there. Hit the first target over here. Actually, we hit a target here. Yeah, okay, so they switch places. You got to be aware of that. This is now version 1 and this is version 2. I can't remember if that switched places or not. Maybe it didn't. Maybe it didn't. It's been a crazy day, so I apologize if some of this doesn't make sense. I've been okay. So look what happened. 10 o'clock, the news came out, and the market just it reacted the way it typically does with news, and so I got stopped out. So I had some gains, but it looks. Oh, man, here's the other thing. We have a feature called work orders, which means that we'll try and get price improvement. We will try to get filled inside the spread. And this is more to go into than I can explain here, but it will do that without jeopardizing your trade. So at some point, it'll just get you out. If we're talking about a stop, you can skip the whole work order idea and just say, if it hits my stop, I want out whatever, I'll take a market order. But you can be more stubborn about entries and, try and get a better fill. So anyway, that's what's happening here. And if you may see orders changing, you may see it happening here. See, this is what's happening here is like an order got canceled and then we're modifying the price limit and a cancel and then a modify. So all this is happening much faster than any human being could possibly do it. And that's how we're managing the trades. So we ended up actually making $14 and $9 on those two. And interestingly, in this minute, we're going to enter again. I just happen to know that. So, okay, so now we got an outside candle going down. So this one has already hit a target. Oh, they both hit their first target. That happened almost instantly. And keep in mind, you can see the fill price here. You can see, I know it's a little confusing because we're showing multiple strikes here. You can look over here to see which strike we're actually in. Okay, so we're hitting more targets. We're down to just our runner. So this one's locked in $60, this one's locked in $30, and each of them has one contract. And this is going to, I think this is going to end in this minute. I can't read my handwriting. Oh no, this is going to go until almost 10:03, I think. So we have about another minute. Yeah, I think it's going to close in this candle. But you can see the stops are dynamically moving, and the candle trail also is. And I think now you can actually hear me in a meeting in the background. All right, so that one stopped out. This one's actually still in, and that's because they use different stops. Different tactics are being used. Okay, so we're now flat in both. So that was 120 on one and 84 on the other. So we're up 413 so far. Okay, so the next trade comes at almost 10:05. Yeah, so this is about to go outside. Yeah, okay, so now we're in calls. And by the way, the targets are, the first target's 10 cents, the next target is 20 cents, and I think in this case it's 10, 20, and 30. So the goal really is, scalp something, get safe, and then see how much we can get on a runner. And this trade, this one's going to last until almost 10:09. So let's speed this up. But hopefully you can see that there's a lot of power here. It does a great job of combining automation with all the flexibility you want with a trading platform. So, you can let it just run on its own, but you are not trapped. It's not something that you can't intervene if you needed to. All right, I think we have another minute here, so I think I'm gonna just scooch ahead a little bit. Okay, this one stops out there. Yeah, so that one's flat. This one still has that runner. Sorry about the dog. Okay, so that was 95 and 59. So we're up 567 now. And oh, by the way, I'm doing this with a cash account, no margin. And this is the first time that I tried. Oh, in fact, it's even a retirement account. So because it's a cash account, I'm limited to just the amount of buying power I have. And so what you're going to see is in a little while, I'm going to run out of buying power. So actually, I'm going to jump to 1016, and I'm showing you the good, the bad, and the ugly because the fact is that those were all the winners, and then there are some losers coming up. But the losers are also instructive, and I'll explain why. So I think this is going. Yeah, okay. So this is an outside candle, so we go long, and but the whole goal is small losses and outsized gains, and that's what these trade plans are designed to do. So we actually did hit a target in both of these. So now the question is, how well does the trade plan protect us after that first target is hit? And see, we have a candle trail, so at the end of, I don't know if you caught that, as soon as that candle closed, the candle trail moved up. So when the candle closes, the candle stop or the candle trail jumps up and it got hit almost immediately. So that candle trail moving there and the fact that the candle closed at that moment, that saved us coming down to here. So anyway, we lost 29 and we lost 12. Okay. Next one is at 1023. I'm sorry if you heard that. My wife is sick. So this is the ideal conditions to be recording this video. All right. I think this actually happens at the end of this minute. Yeah, so I think this is going to end up being an outside candle. Yeah, okay. So it got us in. Oh, we actually, okay, we hit some targets. And well, yeah, this is gonna end in the next minute. Okay, yeah. So candle trail got us out up here. All right, and then so we lost 36 and 22. And all right, we're gonna enter in the next 60 seconds. Oh, and yeah, actually, let me go back because yeah, this is the cost. I was starting to think that I'm probably running out of buying power, so I'm up just a little bit over 10,000 at this point, and I think I had like 12,000 or so in buying power. But it's been a good morning, and actually, it's been about 40 minutes, something like that. All right, so this is going to be an outside candle again. Yeah, so there's the entry. There are all the targets. And nothing's going to happen in the 27 minute. It's not until we get to 28 that something happens. I think it's just going to be a stop out. Yeah, okay. So we stopped out. We lost 44 and 54. So 370 was the end result. That was at that point. Oh, actually, I think if I can find it, we'll see where it actually tries to enter again, but then I hit the buying power. Yeah, there you go. So you can see there's an outside candle, and here it says you do not have enough buying power. So each of them tried to enter, and you notice how perfectly synchronized they are. So they're looking for the same trigger, they're on the same symbol, and they instantly enter. So that's the kind of precision that you have with this. So okay, that's it for the morning recording. I'm now going to I'm going to show you some of the data analysis. So for the month of July, for both SPY and the Qs, those two trade plans, V1 and V2 combined, have made almost $8,000. And this is what the expectancy looks like. Now, this is all paper trading, but a win rate close to 50%, below 50%, and but no lower than 44. I've seen winning trade plans with 41%, 37%. So this isn't that bad. But the key is the win-loss ratio. So the average winner to the average loser. And so these expectancies are in dollars. We have normalized expectancies and risk-adjusted expectancies. But anyway, the max wins for V2 are over $200, and the max loss is right at 100 or even 80. And so, positive expectancy is really the key. And if you can trade consistently and not get emotional and not pick and choose, then, positive expectancy will make you money. So this is all of those trades. Now we are looking at SPY and the Qs on both V1 and V2. So let's actually go to the heat map. This is the one in dollars. So this is V1 on the Qs, V1 on SPY. So you can see that overall the Qs have outperformed SPY by a bit. Not a huge amount, but enough. So that's why I traded the Qs. And V2 has done better, but V1 has not done badly. This is what really put me over the edge and decided that I was going to trade this live. Excuse me. This is every day that this trade plan, which apparently was first traded on July 9th, this is every day's performance. And so the x-axis here is not time, it's entry cost. Because I wanted to see with this limited size account where I have like $12,000 of buying power, how would I be able to do? So I was kind of looking around the $5,000 point because I was thinking roughly 5,000 for V1 and 5,000 for V2. And here's zero right here. So, I saw that the losers are very small. By the time you hit $5,000, you still have less than $100 loss. And the bulk is up here over zero. So, this is what made me think, all right, I'm going to actually go for it. And then, oh, I'm sorry, that was V1. I'm talking about V2, but we're looking at V1 data. But yeah, okay, so this one started on July 10th. Yeah, right. So the losses are a little bit bigger because V2 trades 4 contracts instead of 3, and it's just a little bit riskier in both. So you get paid for taking risks, and so it makes more and it loses more. So anyway, the zero line is here. There were only 3 that were underwater by $5,000, and the rest were in profit. So that's really what put me over the edge. Um, and so next we'll take a look at the actual live performance. Oh, and actually, before we go there, let me just show this. And there was one other thing that put me over the edge, and that was, meaning when I say put me over the edge, gave me the confidence to trade these trade plans live, and that was looking at um, the what I call trading results as candlesticks. So in this case, each candlestick represents a day of trading. So this is the profit and loss. So the open is the profit after the first trade, the close is the profit after the last trade, and then of course the high and the low are how good and how bad it got during the day. And you can see that there were not many losing days, and they weren't very extreme. You know, here's the low was down $146 on this one. The high over here was up over 500. And so, you know, and then over since July 9th, this is up 1971. LG2, even better, I think. Low, well, negative 178, but this high 689, and it closed on the high as well, and 2404 overall. And then here's the SPY, just so you can see. So, you know, these trade plans looked pretty solid, and so I decided it's time to finally do this live. Yeah, so this is the way. That probably was too much. This is the way the trades played out. So, and again, in this case, we're looking at both SPY and the Qs, but 1,270 trades over July. Candle trail, 511 of them. 334 hit the first target with ratchet brackets, and 328 hit the first target in grab sense. Here's the grab sense 1 to grab sense 2, 188 made it there. And then to grab sense 3, 118 made it there. We have a grab sense trail that 32 hit. Loss limit was hit by 91 trades. The candle trail took out the vast majority here. Here's a ratchet bracket trail that only 3 of them took out. So basically what that means is that the candle trail was closer to price, so it usually ended the trade before these other trailing tactics had a chance. So okay, that's it. We'll take a look at the live trades now. Okay, so now we're going to analyze the trading that was done live today. So the overall P&L is $370. If we look at the non-normalized expectancies, you can see that the win rate is identical, 57% for both V1 and V2. The win-loss ratio is very close, but the max win and max loss are off. So V2 has higher max win and a slightly higher max loss as well, or greater max loss. But the expectancy for V2 is 31, almost $32, and for V1 it's 21. Okay, so let's see what else is interesting here. Here are the actual trades by time of day, and you may recognize these times of day and the P&Ls that we saw. The dots are placed at the opening time. So the trade was open at 9:58, but if you remember correctly, they closed right at 10 o'clock. because the JOLTS report came out and they got stopped out. So we ended up avoiding a loss. We made 14 and 9 here. But then the next two that entered shortly after the JOLTS report at 10:00:33 made 120 and 84. And then, we had a couple more winners, and then the rest were losers. I'm just zipping through the things that are not really of interest. This is a heat map. Means a lot more when you have more symbols and more trade plans, but it's showing basically that version 2 makes more than version 1. But they both were profitable. This is profit by time of day for all trading combined. This is one line per trade plan. So you can see that version 1 is always just a little bit below version 2 here, but exactly the same shape. All right. This is P&L versus entry price. Kind of interesting to see that these higher priced options were the profitable ones, and these lower price options, maybe it's pure coincidence here. This is by strike price. So, there's some things you can really get something out of and other things you can't. So this is version 1 that trades only 3, a quantity of 3. And this is version 2 that trades a quantity of 4. What is kind of interesting here is you can see that the range is tighter for version 1 than version 2. Version 2 has slightly larger losses, but the gains are larger by enough that it makes up for it. Not much to get out of that. This is another interesting way to look at it. This is just a histogram of P&L and quantity. So we've just divided everything into buckets, and so the largest bucket that has 2 entries is this very small gain, and everything else is just 1. The frequency is 1, but notice that the largest loss is in the negative 50 bucket, and the largest gain is almost at 125. So, that's really the key, is small losses and big winners, or bigger winners. Now this shows the way all the different trade plans played out. So we have 14 entries altogether, and there are 3 ways that the entries can go. They can go here to the candle trail, and 2 of them ended up going straight to candle trail from entry. 6 of them went to ratchet bracket 1, and 6 of them went to grab sense 1. And what's interesting, I found out, is from grab sense 1, 3 of them. Okay, I was reading it wrong before. So half of them made it from grab sense 1 to grab sense 2, and then all 3 that made it to grab sense 2 made it to grab sense 3. So that might, you need more samples than we have here, but that might be an indication that maybe grab sense 2 should be removed. If every time you make it to the second target, you also make it to the third target, you're leaving money on the table on that second target. Now, I don't think that a sample of 3 tells us enough. And, so it probably isn't that conclusion in the long run, but just something to be aware of. And then everything that made it to grab sense 3 exited on the grab sense trail. And then the other 3 were stopped out by candle trail. And then ratchet bracket, we had
6 of them make it to ratchet bracket 1, and half of those made it to ratchet bracket 2, and then all of those were stopped out by candle trail. So, we don't have a large sample here, but this gives you some idea of what's going on. It can be very useful in larger data sets. This one's kind of interesting. This is the MAE, maximum adverse excursion, and MFE, maximum favorable excursion. So this is basically the drawdown. So this is 0 right here where the red and blue meet. The green dot is where the trade ended up. So if the trade ended up over here in the blue, then it made money, and in the red it lost money. So you can see our largest drawdown was $68, but maybe through work orders or just luck, we recovered 14 of that. So the largest loss was $54. You can also see how much you're leaving on the table. So this was up 155. We ended up netting 112. So I think that was probably the candle trail where we ended up, it reversed on us and we ended up getting stopped out. So, if you see a lot of this kind of thing happening, then maybe you want to find a way to capture more of that maximum. But, on the other hand, you got to give trades room to breathe.
So that's about it. Thank you for watching. Just in conclusion, Trade Unafraid made about 3% on about $12,500 in a cash retirement account. And the winners were bigger than the losers. And the whole thing happened without me having to touch it. I'm real excited about it. And I love the fact that the live trading seems to be very much in line with the paper trading. So that's a really good thing to see. Okay, look for more of these. Thanks.